Good to see you again, Tim. You're still helping out a lot of people that are struggling right now financially, but there's a big difference between debt settlement and credit counseling, and I don't think a lot of people do know what the difference is, right?
There's a big difference. Debt settlement actually reduces the total amount that you owe down to a manageable level and breaks it into a monthly plan or payment plan to help people get out of debt fast, as opposed to credit counseling where they reduce the interest rates a few points, but by the time they tack their fees back on, your payments can be as high as they were before or close. And it's interesting to note, with credit counseling a few years ago, they finally came to the realization that these were generally collection agencies for the credit card companies and the banks. They finally regulated them. They made themselves out to be this ambiguous, helpful third party that just was going to be there for you if you needed counseling.
Right.
When in reality, like I said, they were collection agencies. They were receiving fees for the borrower as well as what they called fair share in a form of payment from the credit card companies.
So not working so much for the consumer, for the client, as they thought.
They were out for themselves.
So where that was more the rage years ago, debt settlement is apparently gaining in popularity then, right?
Absolutely, because unlike the interest rate, which may or may not help you, we actually reduce the amount that you owe, which down to a manageable level can really make a big impact on what people are paying every month. We've got some examples here, which is really important to point out. Here, our average client's carrying about $30,000 in minimum and just credit balance with their revolving debt.
Right.
And their minimum monthly payments can be as high as $1,200 a month. With credit counseling, $950 a month, which again can look as bad as a bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And with freedomdebt.com, generally around $540 a month.
It's a big difference.
Big difference. Yeah. And it's also important to point out how long it can take you to get out of debt doing this. Just making your minimum monthly payments with high interest rates, it can take as much as 20 years. And that's never making another charge on those cards once they get to a certain point.
Wow.
Credit counseling can still be 5 to 7 years. FreedomDebt.com, we typically get our clients debt-free and recovered and on the road to reinvesting in their lives and surviving this troubled time in 28 to 33 months.
28 to 33 months. It's a short period of time, too.
It is.
When we're talking about debt settlement, how does that play into banks and the mortgage companies as well, too?
Well, actually, that's really taken off. Last year or the year before they settled, they actually have created settlement agencies and settlement departments within their companies.
Just to handle this alone,
Just to handle this. And they settled about $41 billion. Last year, $96 billion.
96
So it's
billion.
more than double. The premise of this, they'd rather get something than nothing. That's really where we come into play. It does help the banks rather than bankruptcy where they get nothing. And it does help the consumer where in a bankruptcy, they may still have to pay some of this back. If they've got the assets, they will still be responsible for some of this.
Okay, so it does help the borrowers so much more than credit counseling does, right?
Well, and our program, it's important to point out, is for responsible borrowers, people that really want to help themselves get out of debt, and we're helping them help themselves.
Okay, speaking of that, how do people get help in the first place with you guys?
People contact us, and our debt consultants will actually talk you through the process of what you should gather, get your numbers together, and we're actually giving the first 50 callers and the first 50 emails a completely free and confidential debt analysis and a copy of our budgeting guide.
Wow.
And that number is 800-789-7544. If people are wondering, 800-789-7544. And we're really excited about helping more people.
I know you guys have been pretty busy lately, so it's always good to see you here. Good information, too, helping out a lot of people.
Thank you.
This has been Better.tv. For more stories like the one you just saw, catch the weekday television program Better, your source for styles, trends, relationships, beauty, fitness, and other stories that will help make your day better. Check local TV listings to see if Better airs in your city. Thanks for watching.